Hi, I'm Dr. Carol Francis. I wanted to introduce to you course number 2 and course number 3. This is part 1 and part 2 of the 12 R's of recovery. Now, what is so important about these 12 R's is they equip you with responses to those really awful moments that are natural in recovery. So let me explain a little bit more. Perhaps in your experience, you're having flashbacks or you're having really horrific nightmares, or you're having these moments where your whole body shifts into some sort of panic or a startled response to some sort of trigger that you may not even know what occurred, or you have these horrific imaginings where you catapult yourself into a moment of imagining the worst possible situation, and then you kind of wake up and realize that none of that is happening. And these and more responses are very normal for abuse and trauma recovery people. Now, most of the time people say, oh, that's a symptom of post-traumatic stress, and it is. Those are all symptoms of post-traumatic stress. That those are reactions to having gone through something very traumatizing, very abusive potentially, that have led to you being very traumatized. So those are symptoms of post-traumatic stress. In addition, however, I want you to reframe these moments and think of them as moments where you can either respond by diving totally into the abuse and trauma and then feeling so broken because you're bringing it all forward in the present, or where you can know that those are normal responses and then you say, okay, I want to respond to this moment in a recovery modality, in a way that helps this moment lead to my recovery. Because it is my contention that all of these reactions are natural and they are your way for your brain, your mind, your emotions, and your body to start catapulting you into recovery. But it is our misinterpretation of these moments as, uh-oh, I'm broken again, that keep them trapped in the abuse and trauma experience. And so instead, you want to say, okay, here it is again. Here's this moment. I want to move myself into recovery using this moment, as awful as it is. I'm going to take one of those R's, whichever one they are, and I'm going to use that to move me forward. Now, as with all of the courses here, you're going to listen to a video that explains the concepts. Then you're going to be able to do a little bit of knowledge gained so that you can record this information in your brain. By doing so, you solidify the information on your cognitive level, on the core of your brain. Your frontal cortex helps your primitive brain think things through in a state of emergency. So you need to give it knowledge, information. Next, you're also going to go into self-reflection. You're going to see how what you've learned is about what you currently understand about yourself. And what you'll notice is that when you come back and do these classes later, that you're in a different spot, that you can now use that self-reflection to kind of go, oh, now this is what I'm reflecting now because I have made progress. And then after that, you can listen to the meditations. The meditations are short and sweet just to get you into an experience of it. And as with the other courses, the first class, you'll do the first 2 meditations. The second class, you want to do all the meditations from class 1 and class 2. And the third, all the meditations from class 1 and class 2 and class 3, so that by the time you get to class 6, you're doing all of the meditations accumulatively. And that allows that day 6 to be kind of the integration. It's kind of like it synthesizes everything that we've been building up to in this particular course. And then we'll do the same thing for part 2, the other 6 R's of recovery as well. And that way you will begin to accumulate this experience of recovery and be able to summons these R's up at a moment when you really need them. And you need them most when you've shot back into those moments. People sometimes call them, I've regressed back to those moments. So if you've regressed back to those moments, think of them as an opportunity to progress yourself into the next step of recovery, because that is actually what your body is trying to create for you, what your brain is trying to process for you, what your emotions are trying to rework. They're all in the process, not of reliving, but of trying to get it into a different way of integrating it into your life. But you have to take those moments and shoot them forward in that direction. Okay, so let's start the process. Talk to you later.